Here we go. Here he is.
Good afternoon.
The Owen with the hair. Nice haircut, mate. You did well.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good, mate. Yeah, suit you.
I remember that.
It's welcome to the club.
Yeah, I know. I've gone for it's like a dwarf slayer thing. You know, I've shaved all my hair off now in shame, you know, until it grows back long. I keep it growing now until my lizard man army is finally complete.
Yeah. How's it going with that, mate?
Oh, good. Hey, it's been a good week. I've got a nice unit of skinks, which are almost done, which is nice. I've got for an interesting color scheme. And I finally managed to get hold of a couple of salamanders online.
Oh,
the
great.
old one with the Dimetrodon ones with the big sort of ridged back on them, you know. So
Nice.
look forward to getting those done. And I'm going to start my old style Kermit the Frog's slam soon as well.
Beautiful.
So,
Kermie. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Over the rainbow he goes.
Yeah. What's that? You've just put like an interesting collection of lead on the table behind you there as a talking point.
Yes. I see it's caught your eye there, Owen. Welcome to my store.
I was waiting to see the little robotic heater you had last week. It's gone.
Oh, the robotics here. No, the heater's here. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There it is. At my service, of course.
Oh.
But yeah, over here is a lead pile of, I was talking to Marcel, it's a Rogue Trader collection of war buggies, scorches, bikes, and various war machines and everything from 2nd edition to Rogue Trader era. I was just sorting it out, and I was looking through my the old Citadel catalog to work out some of the bits and pieces that I had there to make sure they were complete or incomplete, and helping out Jesse, my old good mate Jesse in New Zealand, with a few war buggies for him and his mates to play 2nd edition with. So that's that story, mate.
I like that. That's good. That is. Yeah. I got a glimpse of Marcel when I came on, who had a massive collection of boxes behind him, which was intriguing as well. I want to know what's in there.
Yeah, they are all empty because that's the stuff I keep from ordering stuff, so I can send them away if I can sell stuff at all. But I got free time in a few weeks, and then I've got the plan to sell a lot of stuff on eBay, so I get more hobby money. Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, it looks like you're soundproofing your room, making it soundproof by just putting a load of boxes there.
Yeah, that's
for the cats.
Yeah, that's a playground for the cats, but sometimes they just want to climb up there, and then the whole thing comes down. So,
so how did your Hero Quest game go?
Oh, don't ask.
Oh, mate, it's brilliant. I've almost killed them all, but we're going really well, Owen. We're in the second stage of the level of the Priests of Pleasure. So it's a bit of a kinky hideout for the Slanesh Beastmen.
Yeah.
It smells of Beastman dung in every corner of every room, and the guys are just wafting it in and enjoying every moment of it. Almost with their heads cleaved off at every second. Yeah. So we were just talking about fate points before. Yeah. Have you played Advanced Hero Quest?
Not for must be like 30 years or something like that, you know, a long time ago. But that was I can't even remember much of it, to be honest. But yeah, it was good though, isn't it? It's a good game.
Yeah, it's a very hard one. It's a very difficult game. Very deadly. But you have to join us next time. I'd love to. I was a bit rushed off my feet yesterday doing lots of different things. But I will join you next time. It'd be good. It'd be good fun. I'd enjoy that. So who refs it? Who's the or does it run itself? Were you the bad guys, Josh, or how did it work?
Yeah, I'm GMing it, so I'm doing it from my end. So I just use my phone as the camera and through our Discord channel at the Crown of Command Discord channel, and then we have our own sort of remote gaming channel for that. So we had myself as the GM. We had Marcel, who's playing the dwarf. We had Timothy, who's playing the knight hero, or the paladin type character, and Marcel's wife Yagoda is playing the elf archer, and the wizard was sort of just shared around everybody else because the wizard's bloody useless. I mean, he's as frail as a tissue. I mean, you just one blow on him and he'll just fall over. But he's got the one trick pony of having that big fireball spell. I don't know if you remember that, but he's got like spell components. He's got 4 spell components. So he's got four shots at this fireball spell. And when you put the template down over the enemy characters, each one gets 5 dice, as in hits at him. So it's really, really powerful. But surprisingly, yesterday it just wasn't very effective. They just weren't doing many wounds against the monsters. So, but it was good. It was good. We had a really good fun time. Always have fun playing Advanced Hero Quest. It's a bit of a slog, like any dungeon crawler is. But if you break it down into like one expedition per gameplay, it's not too bad. And the guys got some gold to play around with. They can buy stuff. They can buy henchmen, which is a big thing that sort of separates it from other dungeon crawlers. I think you've got henchmen that you can buy, sergeants or just men-at-arms. So they're sort of your little ploddy guys that you can throw out in front of the enemy at times as like a body shield kind of thing. So
yeah. We don't name them because they get killed anyway. So we got not attached to them.
That's right. Oh, you're the other bloke. Okay, you're the new guy. Okay, yeah, good on you, mate. Yeah, thanks for coming. If we're lucky, we'll see it by the end.
That fireball spell reminds me, there were lots of spells like that in early Warhammer. There was a great spell called Wind of Death in 2nd edition Warhammer. And you had points that your wizard could have. And if you were the most powerful wizard, you had 40 points of spells you could cast in a game. And this spell cost 40 points to score, right, to cast. And what it did was every figure on the table had a strength 3 hit, okay? So you'd have to roll a dice for every figure on the table, and you basically lose half the army. But I saw in a game in the club I used to go to, you used to be able to do, you could hold some of your army in reserve. So I saw a guy, he played a game where he was playing against an orc army that had about 200 figures. The 200 figures were all set up on the board. He set up his wizard, and in the first turn, cast Wind of Death. So half the orc army died, and then he brought his entire army on a reserve move.
Oh,
so
wow.
And really, I just thought, oh my God, talk about gamesmanship, but he'd have these spells that was like super powerful, and so half the orc army was dead before it even moved. But
wow.
So,
that's the point we just say you just pack up your miniatures and go home, isn't it?
I think so.
I think that's the declaration of okay, that's a piss take. I'm off. See ya.
Yeah,
I'm going down the pub.
I think that's why Wind of Death never made it past that edition. That was the end of that then.
Yeah. I wonder why. Yeah. Strength 3 is a big thing. I think Strength 3 was pretty big in those editions, wasn't it? To have something Strength 3 was quite powerful, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I think the normal toughness was toughness 3. So really, on a strength 3 hit on toughness 3 would wound on a 4+. So if you were rolling 200 dice, you'd have 100 kills.
Wow.
So, but yeah, you'd lose half your army in one turn, really.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, the fun of the fair, eh? Oh, the fun of it. Unless you knew that it was being cast on. Yeah. So
yeah.
So how long did your Hero Quest take? Was it a quick game or was it a long game?
It took about
3 hours.
Gone, I think.
I think 3. I think about, was it 3 hours?
Well, no. What's happened? Well, you got me, Josh.
I got you, mate. I got you there. It's okay, mate.
Yeah.
I think about. Did it take 3.5 hours?
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
At least.
It took a lot longer than I thought. It flew by. It felt like an hour, but yeah, I think it was about 2:30 by the time I got to bed in the morning.
Wow.
So yeah. It was good. It was good though. It was good time. It's always nice to.
I got my my Shadow Deep game in yesterday. I don't know if you've had a chance to see that, but
I haven't yet. So please don't tell me about it. But I want to see it, but I haven't seen it yet. Sorry. Don't give any spoilers. No spoilers. I've been enjoying those. Yeah.
I like the board. The board was really cool.
Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? Yeah, I've had that for a couple of years and I've not used it much. So it looked quite nice, didn't it? I was quite pleased with that. It was okay. It was okay. The board was better than the game.
Better than your dice roll. better than your dice rolls, at least.
Better than my dice rolls. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And Marcel, you're getting into Arthurian gaming then, by the look of it.
I mean, that's a problem if you're interested in history and see beautiful miniatures matching a period you're interested in.
Yeah.
Then here it goes. Yeah. And I got this rule set from the two fat laddies here, Dux, Dux Britannorum, for quite some time. And the company here, what's it called? First Core, sells army deals, especially for this rule set.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got all the stuff here, unpainted, of course. But it's a really nice, a really interesting period, because sadly here for Central Europe, or at least Germany, there isn't a lot of record, because we just got overrun by all the Germanic tribes there, and all is left was just some stone ruins and everything. And you guys there in Britain got hidden a little bit later, and got all the monks there in the monasteries writing it all down.
Yeah.
So there you got your written sources at least. And yeah, I've read as a child here the from Rosemary Sutcliffe.
Yes.
The Lost Eagle.
The Eagle of the Ninth.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And there's what's it called here? The comic Prince Wayland.
All right. Okay. Is that Wayland the Smith? Is it Wayland the Smith?
Nine. The guy with the funny haircut here, Prince Wayland.
Valiant. Is it Prince Valiant?
Yeah. And there's also an adventure where he visits Hadrian's Wall, and there's a guy pretending to be the last Roman still guarding the wall.
Wow,
and that's was really cool for me reading. And yeah, I got the rule set, and it's campaign driven, and I really love campaign driven games. So you got your warlord with his band of warriors, you got a champion. You can roll what will happen before the battle. Maybe they are all badly hangover from the feast the day before, and you can hurt insults against each other for morale bonuses and so on. And it's maybe someday I will paint them.
Have you seen? Have you played any Saga? There's a Age of Arthur Saga supplement.
Yeah. I've looked into that. I played Saga, but not that supplement, but here with the Templars and Crusaders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really fun and interesting game. I think I played the second edition. I think there's a third one now, so I can't compare that. And they are really good, high production value, the books and the pictures and everything. And I must say, one of the best books for wargaming for this period are the old Warhammer Ancient books.
Yes.
Luckily, I got them both, about Arthur and Fall of the West, and they are just great with tips for building terrain. Yeah, like an old villa there with patched up roofs and outbuildings and so on. That's really, really cool. Yeah.
I love that period. I think I said to you in the week, I think that's one of my favorite periods, is the Dark Ages. And it's so, living in Wales and living in the UK, it's so interesting because there are so many things around you which relate to that period. And Arthur in particular, everywhere you go in Wales, there's things about Arthur. And just literally, if I could show you outside the window here, about 10 minutes away, there's a place called Dinas Rock. And it's a cliff face, basically. But there's an amazing story about Arthur in Dinas Rock, which is really famous. And it's 10 minutes from my house, and it's amazing to do that. But going back, I mean, there must be a great history. I've always wanted, you said about the Germanic tribes. I would love to do an army of those. There's some lovely figures out for that, isn't there? And the fights against Rome that they did, like in the start of Gladiator, you must have seen Gladiator, and the battle with the Germanic tribes, isn't there, at the start there. And I love, there's some brilliant figures. Victrix do some fantastic plastic Germanic warriors. And I've got to get some of them. They're superb. But, you know, it's a bit of an earlier period, that, but still, I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can, most of this barbaric miniatures you can use for a lot of periods. Gripping Beast got some nice plastic miniatures, especially cavalry.
Yeah.
And I had to board them because Wargames Foundry made some great civilians, and they got some barbarians that are laden with plunder. So one of the guys hold there the amphora drinking and got one wife at the hair dragging behind.
Oh no!
Yeah, and so very thematic little poses there. They are just great. And for terrain, you got here the, what's it called, a Sarissa with the MDF buildings, so you can build up the Roman city easily. So a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, good luck with that. That would be good. You really enjoy that, and I think some of the reading you can do about Arthurian Britain is so interesting, and there's so many good books out as well, that and novels and stories and things that you can look. You really enjoy that. That's a great period to do wargaming. You know, I think you'll really enjoy that. We'll have to get together for a game of that. You know.
Yeah.
That would be fun. It would be fun. Where's Josh? He's still with us, Josh?
Yeah, I was going to say I've got a mission to make. Actually, I've actually painted an entire Germanic army for Warhammer Ancients way back in the day.
Wow.
It was an assembly of 80 men naked, like, you know, actually stark naked with todgers. I've painted 80 todgers on those guys with shields and armored clubs and big hairy heads. From the Harlequin, I think they were called Harlequin miniatures or Black Tree Design miniatures back in the day, and they were quite cheap. But yeah, me and a few other guys were really interested in Warhammer Ancients back in that time, and I do remember it being a pretty good game. I had like the supplement for running the barbarians, but it just wasn't. I don't know. I tried it; it just wasn't my thing, and eventually I just sold the army. But I would like to now, looking back on it, and you guys talking about it, I would actually like to revisit Warhammer Ancients at some point as well, because they had some really good supplements and stuff for it.
They had some great supplements. I think the problem with it was, I wouldn't say a problem, it was all the supplements were written by different people. So if you took, for example, if you took your Germanic army and played against my Hittite army, or from an earlier period, it wouldn't really work. It would be a real struggle, so you'd have to play within the books, really. So if it was okay if you were all playing in the Age of Arthur, it was great. But if somebody didn't have that, it was sometimes a struggle, and because it was so specific, unless you had a group of players who were all interested in the same period, it would be kind of tough. But it was great. It was fantastic. I love the Wild West one they did. There's some Warhammer Legends of the Old West. I love that. That was really good.
Okay. Yeah, they even did a World War I rule set back in the days.
I think they did. Yeah, I think they did. Yeah. I can't remember that one, but much of it. But I'm sure they did, because there was talk of at the time. I think Workshop were talking about doing a lot more modern things, but it never came to anything really. But
some of my clubmates got the Trafalgar rule set for Napoleonic naval warfare, and that's quite fun. We've got the Langton ship models. I mean, they look very beautiful, but are a pain to assemble, even with all the rigging and so. And but going back to Britain in the Dark Ages, I got here the map from the Two Fat Laddies rule set.
Wow!
I just love maps, I have to confess. So that alone let me board the rule sets.
Well, great. If you want, I could tell you the Dinas Rock story if you want, because that is It's so it's such a magical story. But it's just up here, about 10 minutes away from me. There's a rock and it's made from this dark granite rock that stretches to the sky. And on the top of that rock is a small hawthorn tree, which is bent like a hooked hand over the top. And hundreds of years ago, a thief called Iago went there, and he climbed the cliff, and he took a stick and he snapped it and used it as a walking stick. And he was wanted in all the valleys of Wales around here. So nobody wanted to, he couldn't go anywhere because he'd stolen from everybody. So he walked all the way to London. And he walked through all the streets, all the towns, all the villages, all the roads until he came to London. And he knew he was coming to London. He could smell it. He could see the sights of London. And he walked over the bridge into London. And as he crossed the bridge, there was an old man sitting on the other side. And the old man stopped him, first person he saw, and said, I know where that stick comes from. I know where that walking stick comes from. And he said, well, how do you know that? And he said, well, in Dinas Rock in South Wales, that's where that tree grows. And Iago says, well, how do you know that? And he says, well, if you climb up Dinas Rock, about 5 foot from the top, there's a smooth part of the rock. And if you place your hand on it, and turn it round and round and round that way, the cave will open up. And inside that cave, you will find 12 sleeping knights in a circle. And at the head of that circle of knights is Arthur King, a Brenin Arthur. And above the knights, hanging from the ceiling, is a golden bell. And in that room will be full of treasure, so much treasure that you will be the richest man in all of Britain if you find it. But they are just waiting for the day when that bell rings. And when that bell rings, they will wake up and they will rescue Cymru again. They will rescue Wales once more. But do not ring the bell. So Iago turns round and walks all the way back, 200 miles, all the way through all the villages, all the towns, all the roads, until he comes to Dinas Rock. And then he climbs up the rock, leaving the stick at the bottom. And he finds that smooth bit of rock. And he turns his hand once, twice, 3 times, just like the old man says. And the cave opens up. And he clambers in. There's just enough room for him to squeeze in. And he makes his way down through the cave until he comes to the cavern. And there, just like the old man says, there are 12 knights, all in their armor, laying on their back, their shields on their chests. And in the middle, by their feet, is a big pile of gold. And above that pile of gold is a golden bell hanging from the ceiling. So Iago fills his pockets, fills his coat, fills everything he's got with gold, and then leaves the cavern. And he climbs out carefully down the cliff. And now he's the richest man he knows. And he goes to the local inn and he buys everyone all the drinks, all the food. He buys the best horse he can find. He buys the best house he can find, until he throws his money to everyone who will speak to him, because no one has ever liked him. But now they all think he's great because he has all this money. So then he turns around. He realizes he's got no money left. So he goes back to the cave, climbs back up, turns his hand on the rock. The rock opens up. In he goes again, fills his pockets with gold. But then he goes to leave quickly. And as he stands up, he knocks his head on the bell. And the bell starts to ring back and forth until he has to cover his ears because the bell is so loud. And he holds down, then he looks around. And all the dust from all the centuries moves, and all the knights slowly start to sit up, and the dust falls away from them. And all of them draw their swords. And they found Iago's body at the bottom of the cliff, every bone in his body broken, and a single gold coin on his chest. And even now, all these years later, they say if you go to Dinas Rock and you climb the cliff face, and you can find the place to put your hand, you can enter that cave. And we still wait every night for the bell to ring and Arthur to rise up and save Wales once more. And that's the story of the thief of Dinas Rock. I'll send you a picture of Dinas Rock later. There we go.
Please do. Yeah.
There we are.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So there
That's
we go.
great. That's excellent.
Great.
That's a lovely story.
That's a good story, isn't it? That's a nice tale,
Yeah.
that is. I've done that one a couple of times, but that's just up the road here. So when you're looking at doing sort of Arthurian tales and stuff like that, it's really interesting story, you know, and an interesting thing to sort of enthuse you, I think. But there we are. Yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it.
Lovely,
got your scenario ideas right in front.
But it felt like that in my Shadow Deep game yesterday, when like just people all around them. But yeah, it was interesting. It was nice. But good luck with your Arthurian stuff. You'll enjoy that. There's so much you can do with that. So Josh, what are you painting? Are you space marining all the time now? Then or are you still fantasy at all? Or?
Yeah, man, I'm doing a bit of everything. I've got a Screaming Bell for my Skaven army. I've got some Beastmen for Jesse that I'm painting up for him, and for a big 4,000-point Warhammer Fantasy game at the end of the month. I've got my Space Orcs that I'm doing up at the moment, my Bad Moons for the painting challenge. I've got a Mega Gargant for the Epic Space Marine that I'm working on at the moment. Mate, I've got so many projects. I've got just no more time. You know, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the issue, isn't it? You know, I want to do so much. I just have no time. So how about yourself, mate?
As I said, I'm working on the Lizard Men. They're coming on quite well. I hope I'll show you those. I've been lucky enough to win a couple of things that I needed. So next time I'll show you my skink unit. I'm looking at them here, and I'll show you. Hopefully, I'll start on the Slan as well. I'm really looking forward to playing some more older Warhammer, which would be nice. I'm looking forward. It'd be good. It'd be really nice to do that. But I can see the Man of War stuff behind you as well. I mean, do you play that at all?
Oh, I love it, mate. Man of War is just such a great game. Have you ever played it?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, many years ago. But I had that set, and I had some of the orc stuff they used to do when I played it years ago. But I've not played that since it first came out, really. Yeah. But I bet that's it. Does that hold up well? Is it a good game still?
Mate,
it's a great game.
Marcel and I played it remotely, actually, and we sort of got into it maybe at the same time. I got my set, and I think Marcel got his set around at the same time from someone locally. And ever since then I've been playing it, and I just loved it. I think it's such a great, maybe sort of a forgotten game, maybe in some respects. I think people maybe sort of glanced over and thought, oh, it's just naval combat, not so interested in it. But it's got such great depth to it. In the rules and in each individual fleet the fleets are really characterized to the races in the Warhammer world, and they've got their sort of iconic familiarities between what things they can do. Like Chaos is Chaos. It's got all the different kinds of gods, and they play to their different styles. The Orcs are just crazy. They've got these big driller killer type ships that can, burrow into the hulls of other ships, and they've got these massive kind of catapults that throw stones into the other ships to try to sink them. You got the Empire, the most classic faction, which has the most sort of classic sort of ships. I don't know how to really describe it. I mean, people probably have seen these ships online or whatever, but you can have a look at them. But yeah, I just love all the factions. I've tried to collect everything, actually, to be honest, because I think all of them play uniquely, and there's so much there to love about Man of War. And I think Marcel will agree with me there, I think.
Yeah, I have to beat you.
I'm undefeated, mate. Undefeated. Yeah. Man of War, come on. Take all takers on. Bring your black arcs or whatever. I don't care. I'll sink everything. Whatever. Everything I roll is a 6. I don't know why. But
yeah. And I sent my spare wolf ships to you. Yeah.
That's a big mistake, Marcel.
These ships are just terrible. They are the killer on the sea.
Mind you. Maybe our last game, you killed 2 of my wolf ships, and I had only 1 left, and I thought, that's it. It's game over. Like, you've taken 2 down. Your plague ships, because you're playing like Nurgle, and it was a great game, and I managed to swing it around right at the end. I took out your main Man of War ship in the end. It was so cool, mate. Yeah, anybody who hasn't played Man of War, you got to try it, because it's just one of those undiscovered gems of the 90s games, Games Workshop games that, it's still brilliant to this day. Yeah.
I mean, the dwarves got submarine. How cool is that?
Yeah. I played against Ben, another Aussie guy, remotely as well. He was playing the Skaven, I was playing the dwarves, and I had that Nautilus with it can go underwater, so submerge underwater and then fire a torpedo, and you got to roll a dice with a little template. It sort of deviates in a random direction where the torpedo is going to go. So you just got to get lucky. I mean, if it does hit something, it's going to absolutely crush it. But yeah, it's got some really, really cool, unique rules to it. And even the internal artwork is just beautiful. The John Blanche, Wayne England artwork is just incredibly good. Really nice. So yeah, if you haven't played it, guys, go and get it. Go and get a copy. Find someone who's got a copy and play it. Play it remotely because remotely it's been very successful. So yeah, I want to play again.
Called Dreadfleet as well. Was Dreadfleet or what was the sub? No, there's another game called Dreadfleet, a newer game. Yeah.
It's terrible.
I've got that. Yeah, I haven't played it.
That's a review for Marcel's review. It's terrible.
I know. It's terrible.
Full stop.
I'm just going to say it's my favorite game ever.
I mean, I bought it back in the days because I was thinking, oh, that's the new Manowar, and it's not. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a good game in its own, but I got Manowar, so I don't need that game. But the gaming mat is great. So you got this cloth and the terrain. Alone for the terrain, I would suggest buy this game if you can find it cheap, because it's the perfect scale for Manowar. So really great.
But I think that Manowar stuff is really hard to come by at the moment now, isn't it? I don't see that very often at all. I don't know, how you guys feel, but not that I've looked for it, but you usually see quite a lot of Warhammer stuff, but you don't see much Manowar, do you? I don't think.
You don't. It's kind of a niche.
Is it expensive to buy now?
You can find it. Well, I suppose relative to Warhammer miniatures, it is expensive, but then the fleets are quite small, so you only need like several ships to have a fleet. So I think it really depends. I mean, eBay has its own sort of pricing structure, but I think if you go to like local trade groups, if you find people maybe in your own area, they might sell it to you quite cheaply. It just really depends, mate. Yeah.
And some factions are quite harder to get.
Yeah,
like
that's true. Yeah.
Norse, for example, or Chaos Dwarves.
Yeah.
Skaven, maybe. So some are very easily to get, like I think Orcs Empire, Dwarves maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see your cat now. Your cat's appeared in the back. What's he doing?
You
heard Man of War. Man of what? All aboard.
No.
There's got to be food involved.
No. Yeah, it's pretending to sleep, so we just let it there. Yeah.
If I see it up on you, I'll warn you. I'll shout. Okay, if it's going to attack or something. No.
Yeah. I mean, that's a problem with miniature painting and cats. Yeah. I mean, the good thing is the worst thing ever happened was they were drinking my painting water. So
yeah. That's good. Josh, any news? Dare I ask about the fanzine?
Oh, the fanzine. Yeah, we're talking about. We'll go back and throw on the messenger about it. It's almost going to launch, guys. I promise you. Last week we said it was going to be this week.
Don't tell me Monday or Tuesday, right?
I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say it's out of my hands. There you go. That's my official reply. It's in the hands of the gods. Angel. He's like we've got a gentleman, Heiko, I think his name is, from the Netherlands, and he's helping us with the website. He's a web designer by trade, so he's going to put it together for us, a website, so we can have it there as an external link that you can sort of flip through the pages of the magazine yourself, or you can maybe print it out yourself or whatever. So we're just finalizing those little details, and once that's done, it's ready to go, and we can officially launch it. So it will be in the next few days. I didn't say Monday or Tuesday. I said the next few days.
No, that's brilliant. You're doing so much good work with this, and with the whole thing in general. Take your time. Don't have any. There's me putting pressure on you. No, don't. Just sort of get it out there when you can. It'll be fine. It'll be good. It'll be great. So yeah.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed, as I said many times. When you see it, you'll be really like, wow, this is a lot of work's gone into this thing. People will tell. People can see that. Yeah.
It sounds like a real labour of love. It'll be good. It'll be a good thing.
It is definitely. Yeah, for sure, mate.
So what games you got lined up for the next week? You got anything, Marcel? Anything you're going to do, or anything that's...
I think the following week will be up for painting, because last week was very busy for regarding playing or gaming. I got the Advanced Hero Quest game here with Joshua. That was quite nice. And on Friday we got our first role-playing session.
Oh yeah, right, okay. Yeah, that should be good.
Oh man, we played before we start the new Enemy Within campaign. I played a small one-shot adventure, and it's a very old adventure. It's the original one is from 1987, written by Jim Bambra, and it's called Night of Blood, and it's one of my all-time favorite adventures. And the group met on a forest road on a rainy evening in the Reichwald forest, and there are beastmen hunting in the woods, and and mutants, and the group is separated on the road, and they don't know each other. And Timothy's character was just standing there, and then a wounded deer breaks through the wood and collapsed right in front of him, and the two beastmen were just going after the deer and killing and eating it, and he was just, or his character was just standing there shocked what's happening, slowly backing away. And then the two other guys trying to help him, but the problem is we got no real fighter there. Yeah, we got one farmer boy. We got one juggler who was hiding in the bushes with his dagger.
Never leave home without
And,
that, a juggler.
Yeah, and
Hey,
Timothy,
it's like that old circus, the old circus shot. Because they, how do you kill a circus? Go for the juggler.
Yeah.
and Timothy's character right in front of this gruesome scene is playing a nun of Sigma. Yeah, so,
None of Sigma.
and I mean, there were so many bad dice rolls involved. It was just horrible. Yeah. One time the Beastman was just in bloodlust, charging one of the characters, and he rolled really bad. I mean, it's a 100 system, so he rolled a 92, and I said, easy, just don't roll a 100, and he rolled 100. And I was thinking all the time, oh man, please don't die.
Could be the shortest adventure they ever had.
Yeah, and they got, at least one guy got a sword, the others got only daggers, and they were just sliding there on this muddy road trying to kill or hit something. And it was really thematic, and we had a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
And in the end they managed to kill these two beastmen, and now they will continue their travel they found an inn there to rest in the night. And I mean, that's one of the adventures that is so full of Warhammer fluff. I don't spoil you guys, because I think I'm very comfortable with this to offer as a game to you someday, because it's so thematic. Yeah, and it's a short game, so you can just sit there down for one day and play it through. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Cool.
Oh, good on you. That's good stuff. Oh, that's great. Excellent. And what about you, Josh? You got anything lined up?
Probably the next Advanced Hero Quest, the next dungeon we need to go and adventure in will be for next Saturday evening, and then before that, probably just painting and getting stuff done, mate. Just kicking goals and getting things done. You know what I mean? Yeah. You'll be busy on your skinks and your big Kermit the Frog guy.
Oh yeah, look out! Look out. Yeah. Well, just give me a second. Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
Here he goes.
Yeah, I'm back.
Hi, Richard. He's also there.
Oh, yeah, Richard's there, yeah. Here's where can I show you now? There we go. As I say, I'm not painter, but I'm going for like a white skink look, just white and brass. So I'm having units of ranked up skinks, which is I'm going to regret as soon as I start playing. I know, but so yeah, it's going for interesting color schemes. Yeah. And there we are, look, the green base in your honor, look, you know, as well.
Nice, mate. Good on you, mate.
So
points for that.
I've painted. I'm probably about halfway through the unit, so I'll get those done in the evenings now this week. And yeah, I should enjoy. By next week, fingers crossed, I'll have these to show you. So it should be nice.
Good on you, mate. That's excellent. Awesome.
Owen, what are you doing during painting? I mean, I listen to all your guys' podcasts or audiobooks or so, but are you just sitting there and painting or listening or watching TV? Some guys doing that.
Yeah, I do very much the same. I listen to a lot of like audiobooks and radio dramas and things like that. I've been listening to a thing on the BBC radio about a ghost story, basically about something called the Battersea Poltergeist, which I've been listening to for the last couple of weeks. It's when I listen to Josh's game playthroughs. I listen to a bit of music sometimes. I love. I'm a massive fan of. I don't know if you've ever watched Deadwood. It's a HBO Western series. Yeah, and I love Deadwood, and I often have that on an iPad when I'm painting, something like that. So I swear a lot. That's it. Yeah, right. But I always have something on in the background. But I'm the sort of guy who, what I find hard is I don't usually have 2 or 3 hours to paint. I've got so many things going on with kids and work and stuff. So I paint in little half an hour, 1 hour sessions, perhaps, in the evening. So sometimes I'm not a great painter. I've said that I'm not a great painter, but I'll always use painted miniatures. So I'll paint, and my armies look okay as an army, but I haven't got the patience to spend hours and hours and hours on one figure. I work through figures quickly, which, and I always say I'm going to become a better painter, but I never actually get round to getting a better painter, really. I haven't got the patience for it. I think I've always, my mind is all over the place, So,
but you'll get your stuff painted, and that's something.
I do. Yeah, I never use unpainted figures. I very, very rarely will you ever see me using unpainted figures. I'll always use painted figures, but I won't have the best. They're not bad, but they're not like some of my friends are really good painters, and I'll never. Or you guys, looking at your high elves from last week, it was superb. But I'll always be able to put them on. They won't look too bad, But
you have to join us on the Discord channel, because there's a paint and chat section, and that's really fun. Just to sit there and paint and talk with the guys about hobby stuff or asking questions about painting. Yeah, that's really nice. And international.
Yeah, that's right. Does that run in the evenings? Does it? Or how do you find that?
I'll send the link.
Home. Yeah, send the link. Yeah,
send me the link. That'd be great, Josh. That'd be fab.
Cool, mate. Excellent. All right. Wonderful. Okay, guys, I think we're going to have to wrap it up, because I don't know what time it is now, and I don't want this recording to end suddenly on us, because we had such a great chat. So I want to thank both of you for coming on and talking with us today. And it's just been great to catch up with you both.
Lovely. No, I've enjoyed it. Thanks, Josh. And thanks, Marcel. Really enjoyed. And have a good week, guys, and stay safe, yeah?
Yeah, and thanks, Owen, for the cool Arthurian story.
Oh, I'll send you the link. I've got a version that I filmed, and I'll send that to you now, okay? All right, both of you. Enjoy. Take care.
Okay, take care, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you.